Yeah, so it's such an underestimated continent. We learn nothing about it in school. I learned in high school that, some British and French assholes colonized this continent and did some many bad things. And they decided then to leave and decolonize, and the decolonization made it even worse. And that's all I learned. You got to remember that you're talking about a continent of 1 billion people, 54 countries, but these countries really mean nothing because they are artificial, created 100 years ago. The real countries are the tribes, and you have thousands of tribes and languages. Just in South Africa, I think you have 11 or 10 official languages. I don't remember now. That shows you the versatility and the size. You can put in China, USA, and many European countries inside Africa in terms of size, because the classic map we use doesn't show the right proportions. I fly from West Coast to East Coast 7 hours, so it's really a big continent. And what's cool, remember I come from Poland, so we had this huge transformation when the communism collapsed, and I could see huge fortunes being made, but I was too young to be a part of it. My father was a soldier, so he was not really into business, and I was too young. And I could see people, parents of my friends, his parent would be like no one, and then he went into business, and then 5 years after, he has this huge empire. So it's really good to hire kids that had rich friends because these kids have motivation. So I was one of those kids that really wanted to make something. And when I arrived in Nigeria and I realized the transformation these countries are going through, I was like, man, this is like Poland in the 90s, just 10 times bigger. Uh, and then when you come from a more economically advanced country, you just see opportunities at every corner just because you're like, okay, I feel like ordering some food. But wait a second, there's no restaurant that delivers, and so on and so on. So you feel like you have a third eye. Uh, that also has a lot of risks because the challenges you're going to meet in Nigeria are nothing like the challenges you're going to meet in Europe. We've built an e-commerce business, but our biggest challenge was logistics because there was no DHL. We had to build our own logistics network. There was no warehouses you could order books from or laptops. You had to import them from China directly because no one else would do it for you. So we had to solve a lot of problems of infrastructure that normally you take for granted in a more advanced market. And that adventure, that chaos was just it's addictive. Lagos in Nigeria is like New York on cocaine. I'm telling you, it's a love and hate relationship, and that's where the chaos comes with that love to chaos. In Europe, I could build another mobile application that figures out how to steal time of millennials that take credit cards of their parents. But back then, I don't know if this is called if this is very naive to think it like this, but many people I hired back then, now they left my company, they opened their own companies, they got funding from investors, and I got messages from them, man, if it wasn't for you, my career would never go into technology that now gives me career chances, etc. So kind of makes you feel good on top of it, and you can see tangible results of your work, and I love that.